Hey y'all, welcome to my channel. It's Kai from Ka Intuitive. I was on a little bit of a hiatus, really not like an intentional break, but yeah, I actually just got back from Louisiana and it was an amazing trip. Shout out to the locals there, shout out to New Orleans, shout out to Voodoo Authentica. I had an amazing reading there by a woman named Raven. It was incredible, wonderful reading, wonderful experience. I actually ended up receiving these oracle decks that I'm going to be using today and shuffling with today primarily, and honestly I think that that's just the way it's going to be for a while. But they're called the Southern Goth Tarot. I'm sorry, the Southern Goth Oracle. And one story time always, right? I always have to start with story time. I received these as a gift from I believe her name was Lestelle at Voodoo Authentica. I was so in love with these cards, man. I found them and was like, they speak to me so much. I just am like obsessed. And she was like, ooh, unfortunately all we have is the shop copy. And I was like, oh no, that sucks. But okay, that's fair. I'll just, give you my information. Maybe you can hit me up when it's ready. She was like, it'll be here on Tuesday. I was like, ooh, I leave Monday. So let's, exchange info, and I'll like give you guys a shout on Tuesday and see if you have them, order them, and then boom. And she ended up, because I was just so obsessed, I don't know, but she ended up giving me the cards as a gift and the shop copy. And I just feel so, in that moment, I was just like, oh my God, really? Like, I did not expect that. That was not something that at all, like, I was just like, okay, fine. Like it happens, right? I just saw these cards and just was so in love with them. And I'm on a pursuit right now for myself. And so these cards really spoke to me, and I really wanted to utilize them and be in their energy and sit with them more and learn more about them and learn more about just the South as a whole. And yeah, it was just a really beautiful trip. I met so many beautiful people from different walks of life, different ethnicities, different, just everything. And it just beliefs, backgrounds, everything. And I was like, geez, like we really could have this. Like we really could have this in life if we just like let each other be who we want to be and accept each other anyway, and understanding that acceptance doesn't mean agreement. Like we're not going to agree all the time, but we don't have to like hurt each other behind that disagreement. And it's just like, geez, like, wow, why are we doing this? But anyway, beautiful gift. Yeah, so I really am just here to check in, to let my algorithm know I'm not dead and like I still care about this. And anybody who does watch my videos, shout out to you for being an OG, and just sticking with me with my little 2 likes and my baby views. I'm okay with that. This video, I have faith, will reach who it's meant to reach and resonate with whom it's meant to resonate with. And, that's all I can do. And shout out also to anybody else who is like, this is what I can do. This is what I've got. This is what's in my tool bag. And this is what I'm bringing to the table. We're all having our Mariah Carey moment, our drunken Mariah moment of I'm going to do the best with what I got, and that's where we're at, honey. So, take it or leave it, love yourself through it, and we're going to be okay. All right. So I want to try to just kind of tap into the energy. I'm going to do what's called the spiral. And I'm not sure if I would assume that this is not the first time that this has happened ever in Oracle or Tarot. But it is a spread for this particular deck. And I really wanted to check it out, like on a collective level. I've already done it for myself. And I really got a lot out of it. So I just kind of want to share it with you guys. I'm still learning this deck, right? So bear with me. Any you know, I'm still learning this deck. I'm still learning the spiral. I'm still learning to do like spreads for others, you know? So here we go. But if you would, just take a deep breath, sink in, lock in, you know, get your water, get your coffee, get your tea, get your wine. Look, no judgment. Take your time. Do what you got to do. You know, get your blanket, your favorite pillow. My favorite pillow is actually shaped like a leaf, and I won't let anybody else use them. Like I have two of them, and like I get upset when other people have them in their possession. I'm like, excuse you, that's mine. But yes, take what you need, take your time, and we're gonna dive in. All right, you guys, so I'm gonna do a live shuffle. It's 5 cards that we're looking for. We are looking for the first card. Okay, and oh, I should probably put my hands here so you guys can like actually see that I'm a person. Okay, we got, I'm gonna say that this is card 1, card 2, oh wow, card 3, card 4. I hope you guys can see that, and if you can't, it's okay. And card 5, because I'm gonna flip them for everybody and show the camera and all that. Oh, drop this one. Card 5. Which maybe you can see, maybe you can't see. I'm not sure. I can't tell. All right, you guys. So we're, of course, naturally, let me move this water. We're, of course, naturally going to be starting with card number 1, which is in the center. This card is, where are you at now? This card will symbolize where you're at now, what energies are at play. And yeah, let's go ahead and jump in. Okay. We are at pair of shoes. A coupling partnership. Okay. The second card is, where should I focus? We have, instrument, self-expression, and speaking truth. So immediately when I see that, I am thinking like maybe there's a little bit of disagreement, or maybe not even, well, I was talking about disagreement actually. Like I just went into that whole big fat tandem about, you know, acceptance doesn't mean agreement. I don't know if that resonates with you, right? But like, perhaps there are folks in your world that maybe you're just not seeing eye to eye with. Maybe, they're not seeing eye to eye with you. You guys are just not seeing the vision. But you're kind of in this together, right? It's kind of like, there's like, I don't want to, I hate to say a binding contract. That just sounds so intense, but there is some sort of like, it is kind of giving like contractual agreement, that because it's a contractual agreement, these energies are meant to come together to kind of, well, I would say push this energy out. Okay, let's talk about that, because what does that mean? So sometimes we go through things, right? sometimes we always go through things. We connect with people, we have conversations. We may not get, like, we may not see eye to eye with that person. We may not agree with that person. We may have differences, crazy, whatever. This might be with a partner. This could be with our children. This could be with friends. This could be with family. It doesn't matter. But sometimes we meet people that are in our path on purpose in order to kind of pull or extract other things within ourselves. And if we have the forethought or the, you know, intuitive like power, right? Intuitive strength, right? We're capable, able, and willing to tap into our intuition. We may be able to uncover things about ourselves that we didn't always know. And in doing that, it helps with our self-expression even more honestly, right? We're able to express ourselves more honestly. We're able to be thoroughly and authentically who we are. That also goes in with like the speaking truth, the self-expression instrument, right? And sometimes people, and also too, again, sorry if I jump around. Oh, this is also giving 2-2 as well. But sometimes like instrument, not even just music and song and, you know, banjo, right? Like this card is giving. It also can speak to people, other people being utilized as an instrument in your life, or you being an instrument in somebody else's life to bring out or harmonize another person or align another person to their own specific, path, truth, realization. And sometimes it's not, especially in the energy of Scorpio, right? Because we are, right at the time of filming this, it's October 27th. We are in the thick of Scorpio season. Not even really the thick, actually. I think Scorpio season did just kind of jump off a little bit, but we are very much in the times of the veil. Okay. And so we're speaking on shadow a little bit more. You might feel a little bit more inclined to do a little bit more shadow integration work. And that's kind of what this is giving. So it's not even just at odds. And maybe the contractual, sorry, I'm jumping around a lot, but maybe the contract is with the self, like old contracts that you've made with yourself, like written in blood. Like I can't do this thing because I failed that one time that I did this thing like 10 years ago, right? It's these binding contracts and laws that you can't necessarily get out of until you kind of change direction. And sometimes it's going to take something kind of coming in, a person, place, or thing coming in and shaking things up a bit. Okay, so let's look at number 3, which is going to be this card, because remember, we're moving in like a spiral. And this third one is, where can I find the best inspiration? Oh my goodness, the painter, which is the panther. And this is strength and power. And this is definitely, immediately I get, because it does feel like yourself. It really does, because these are very isolated animals, right? They're in isolated areas. They are so powerful, so regal, and so strong and certain of their power. And I think that you would find a lot of inspiration, right? As this card represents, you would find a lot of inspiration through the things that you've already been strong about, or through the things that you've already, through your relationship with the idea of strength, or through your relationship with the idea of power, right? If you hear those things, what comes up for you? What kind of questions could you ask yourself about, like when I say strength, do you immediately think of physical strength? Do you think of overpowering someone? Do you think of, right? Because we're talking also about the shadow, right? If you think about, or not if, do you think about, when you hear strength, you think about being, domineering or possessive. When you think about power, do you think that? Or maybe you think about, when you think about power, you think about electricity. You think about things like conduits, right? All of which I can't tell you necessarily. It would probably need to be a deeper conversation, and I just don't have the time for that right now. But this seems more like this is your journey and this is for you. So going in deeper on your relationship to the ideas of strength and to the ideas of isolation and what you can get in that isolation, perhaps. Okay. And I'm seeing like, it's no religious affiliation whatsoever, but just for story's sake, it's giving Jesus in the woods, right? Jesus I don't even know if he was in the woods because of, I don't think he was in the woods. He was somewhere. He was in the desert. He was somewhere, right? And the greatest thing for us is to isolate ourselves in order to really like kind of get to know our strength. In order for us, it's giving vision quest. Sorry, I'm jumping around a lot because there's just so many things that start firing off. Like once there's one little like ignition, it just goes like for me. And it's like, oh my gosh. And then, but it is giving like vision quest. Like sometimes, hermit card. If you're not familiar with what a vision quest is, it's a Native American, indigenous practice, amongst, I don't know how many tribes. I don't know if all the tribes do it. I'm sure that they do in their own way. But a vision quest is, to sacrifice, right? Food and water and, comforts, right? And go off into the wilderness, usually with a guide, that like an elder or, someone who's, or like a sponsor or what have you, that kind of goes with you, but then leaves you and comes back for you later. Right. After I think like 3 days or so, and until you have your vision, or I think you only get 3 days. I'm not sure. I really don't know. But, you stay in the wilderness, essentially. You stay in an isolated zone, just you, yourself, and your thoughts. And no food, none of that business. And you're there in, what's the word that wants to come out? It's like you're there in depletion so that you can be filled, right? It's like you have to be depleted. You have to have almost like be brought back down to ground zero. It's giving full energy too. It's, you have to kind of be back down to ground zero in order for things to kind of rebuild or to gain understanding, right? Without the distractions and without, other things to answer for. So, I'm not sure what that is for you. I'm not sure what the painter is for you, right? It's called the painter because, where this is, I think it's Appalachia, I think is how you pronounce it. They would refer to the panther as the painter, right? Which also is vibes, right? Painter, right? You think of canvas, you think of blank canvas, you think of, you can create anything on that blank canvas, right? But yeah, I just want to let you know, like, it does say the painter, I'm sorry. It's okay. It says the painter. It's a panther. Yes, I'm aware, but it literally says the painter. And I just want everybody to know I'm not having a problem. I can actually read, I swear. So I just want everybody to know that. Okay, we can move on to, this is our fourth card here, and it is what is holding you back. And we have the Bayou. Emotions. I don't know if you can see that very well, but emotions and manifestation. I have to sit with this one for a second, because this is what's holding you back. And I know that immediately you're like, manifestation, how can manifestation hold me back? Okay, trying to build something with old things is kind of what I'm hearing. The attempt to build something from like old thoughts, old patterns, old tools that are broken. I'm seeing like a wooden handle that is just like of an axe or of a shovel or what have you that's like cracking, but we've taped it like 5,000 times with duct tape, and now the duct tape is like sticky and making the handle sticky, and you're trying your best to like get this hole dug, but like it just keeps snapping on you, and then you gotta go and do it all over again. You gotta go and fuck up, or excuse my language, you have to go and eventually you have to just go in with your hands because this tool is just not working. It's just not working out anymore. And then you have to go in with your hands, which then further depletes you. And you don't really end up getting the job done because it's really not meant for your hands. It's meant for a shovel. So instead of digging with your hands, you need to go and get a shovel. And that might take some time because you're in an isolated area where the nearest store is, 25 miles away. And this is, of course, just like an analogy. I'm just following what's coming up to my brain. You're 25 miles away and you got to figure out a way to get there, right? You got to kind of tap into your inner strength, your inner power, your willpower to make it happen for yourself, right? And also that comes down to what's holding us back, right? That Bayou card is keeping everything this is another message to it, keeping everything on the inside, right? Keeping everything, because what we're looking at here, the energies that are going on is partnership and coupling, speaking our truth, right? And if we kind of like withhold that information on the inside, it just kind of like doesn't go anywhere, right? It's like filling up a jar of water, and then now you have a jar of water, and that's that. Nobody's there. Nobody can drink it. Nobody can like have it. No, you're not pouring it to water anything with it. You're just filling up a jar of water and setting it to the side, and now you just have a jar of water, right? That collects dust eventually, may attract, mosquitoes or whatever if it's outside, things like that. But now there's nowhere else for that to go, right? It's not serving its purpose, which is to hydrate or to nourish another. And when we hold on to things out of fear, fear of standing out, fear of being alone, fear of going it alone or going our own way, separating if we need to from others, though we love them, not everybody can go with us, right? To every little aspect of our lives. We can't always have accompaniment, right? We have to sometimes make that decision, in order to, we have to get ourselves out of trying to manifest through ways that don't put in the physical, like the physicality, even with like the pair of shoes and the painter, right? Like those are very physical. All of these are very physical items. The instrument, the painter, and the pair of shoes, right? The painter and the pair of shoes are giving like grounding energy. They're giving the physical energy. When we go outside, what do? We put our shoes on to go move, right? We put our shoes on to move, to have movement, to go outside, to meet people, to greet, to engage, to come together, right? And that's, I think, what can hold us back is it's very unintentional, where we're like, it's almost like overly trying to heal. I've been like in this place too. So like no judgment whatsoever, where it's like, oh, I got to heal this and I got to address this and I got to fix this before I can do XYZ, before, you know, I have to find this answer first before I can go to this next thing. And the reality is that so much of what we're supposed to be doing is loading and then unloading, and loading and then unloading. And sometimes all we do is load, or unload. Both of those things kind of put us out of balance with ourselves and don't allow us to really be in the energy of that process, if that makes sense, right? So like, if we're constantly manifesting, like, you know, when I say manifesting, I just mean like we're constantly just sitting there like asking, right, for things. And I'm seeing someone at their altar space just asking and like petitioning, right? That's not a bad thing. You know, it's never bad to include your guides on your life, right? And to co-create with spirit. But sometimes spirit is like, honey bun, just do it. Like, just do it and then we'll come, right? We'll be there. You're not really alone, right? You have that power to tap into us. You have the ability to reach out to us at any point, right? Should you feel like you've lost your way, right? But more importantly, you've done all the work that'll guide you to this next step. This next step is here because you got here. Sorry, on my camera died, but yeah, basically I pretty much said what I needed to say about the Bayou. We're going to go ahead and move on to number 5, which is this last card. And it's, where do I need more help? Where do I need more help or support? Yeah. And it's the Crystal Grotto. Let me just show you. I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, the Crystal Grotto, energy and cosmos. Where do you need more help? So this kind of does go hand in hand with what it is that I was saying about spirit and about co-creating with spirit. I think that more importantly, instead of maybe like setting intention for, or petitioning source to, you know, help me get this or help me get that, or like I really need, you know, sitting down yet again and like journaling on the same topics, or, you know, things like that. I feel that asking spirit to help you gain clarity, right, on where to begin, right? Like, okay, so I have these talents, right? These things that I want to do something with, like, where do I begin, right? So pick something from the physical. So like, for instance, like, let's say that you really want to make candles. You also really want to be an author, and you also want to be a legal aid, right? Pick one of those directions. It doesn't need to be forever. There doesn't need to be any of that. You just pick one of those directions, and then you ask spirit, where should I start? Right? If there is that kind of calls in again, that balance, right? Because spirit isn't like, don't fucking talk to me, right? Like never, ever. It's just be more specific, right? Be more specific, be more precise, and be more out of the watery depths of your soul and into the physical of your soul, right? It was 2:22 on my clock. It's also this is 11, right? Which is giving 2, which brings us right back to the pair of shoes, right? The coupling, right? Yeah, I really think that if we are able to tap into, you know, more of like these precise questions, right? Instead of just like, what do I do with my life? What's my purpose, right? Like that's going to be a lot harder to kind of get some gas on, right? And some momentum and some movement. What can carry you is by taking, like I said, about 2 or 3, you know, passions that you have, and then picking one and then saying, okay, spirit, let's co-create on this. Like, this is what I want. I have the vision here. This is what I want to see. please, send me the right people that'll help me, right? That coupling, right? Like send me the right people that'll help me promote this vision that I have for myself. I really want to be this legal aid, help me find the right, like a nonprofit, right? That I want to be a part of, whatever, so on and so forth, right? But yeah, I think that that's brilliant. I would love to pull one more card just for overarching, just because I'm in love with this deck. Nope, that wanted to fly right out. Yeah, passion and feminine power, cowrie shells. Okay, and it's 9, 10. I'm sorry, that's crazy. It's 19, but 9 plus 1, 10. There you go. Yeah, and I feel like that is right on point with, you know, we're in that feminine power, right? We're jumping into our own power. We're giving less of it away just for fun. Oh, and the crossroads at the bottom of the deck, road opener and decisions. Okay. So really 4-4 on the clock, 4 minutes and 4 seconds. Yeah, we are, oh my gosh. And then even road openers too. And right when I pulled that, sorry, I got to show you guys again. This is 4 again. So yeah, longevity, reliability, live oak, right? This is just giving like root. This is giving our root. This is giving, you know, we've grown all the way to where we can grow, right? Like we've grown to a certain point and now it's time to get up and get onto the road and make our choice. Like which way are we going to go? And knowing with full faith that it's for us, right? It's for us. We are in our power when we make decisions for ourselves and when we're in the driver's seat of our lives, which is that feminine power of not being like overly submissive, right? And just kind of going with whatever everybody else is wanting, whether it's your partner, your friends, your family, right? And kind of taking the power back and saying, no, I have these things that I'm interested in, these things that that are calling out to me that I need to pursue, and I'm gonna pursue them. I am pursuing them, and spirit is going to support that, right? Because spirit does support that, right? So yes, you guys, that is all I am seeing at this time. I really hope that you liked this message. Again, there's more where this came from, especially with these cards. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I have to share this one too. I'm so sorry. This one was sitting out as well. This is the hurricane lamp, preparedness and inner light, number 1, right? And I just feel there's so much 111, 222, right? Even 8 energy is coming through, 7 is coming through. But yeah, you guys, like there's just so much energy here that is telling you go, right? You are prepared. You have what you need. Go. Make the choice, make the decision, and move on that, right? And don't look back. Don't keep turning around and seeing if somebody's catching up or if they're coming, right? Keep going, go on your way, and you will be rewarded. Those blessings will come through. The things that you're already at your altar about praying over will get to you, right? But it can't get to you if you're standing in the same spot, right? Just hoping and keeping your hands open like, okay, I'm ready, right? Like, no. We need action, honey. We need action. So, all right, you guys, I will be back at some other point this week. It is Monday at the time of filming this, but you can watch this anytime. I'm not working with any sort of like planetary anythings. It's just like boom, spiral. But yes, this is all I'm seeing, and I will see you later. And I hope that you have a great week and rest of your day. Yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. Bye.